And Jenny Taft could not have been happier for the return of Dalvin Cook, who had more than 200 total yards and 4 touchdowns in their 28-22 win over the Packers. Aaron Rodgers threw for nearly 300 yards and 3 touchdowns, but Rodgers fumbled the ball on Green Bay's potential game-winning drive in the final seconds, and the Packers fell to 5-2. Shannon, how much blame does Rodgers deserve for this stunning home loss to, yes, the Minnesota Vikings?
Little, if any. It's the strangest game I've ever seen. I don't know if I've ever seen a game like this, where basically you get 4 possessions and the team score on each possession in the first half. I mean, if you really look at it, Aaron Rodgers just had 2 possessions. He scored. He got the ball back right before the end of the half with like 25 seconds, and they ran the play. So really, he had 2 possessions. The Minnesota Vikings had 2 possessions. They scored touchdowns on their 2 possessions. And then Dalvin, I don't get the Skip. Mike Pettin was in an 8-man front, and Dalvin Cook was getting 20, 30, 10, 8 yards a clip. I was like, really? And on 39, they dump a screen pass to Dalvin Cook, and he goes 50 untouched. I knew Green Bay defense wasn't top-notch. I said, okay, you know, maybe 20th. Skip, yesterday, after what I saw, I'm like, what is this? We just talked about it. First Cousins was 11 of 14, Skip. Let that sink in. Dude won an NFL game he complete. This ain't 1970. This ain't 1960. 11 of 14. And they won the ball game because the Packers defense couldn't stop Dalvin Cook. Show what Dalvin Cook said, yeah, I need to get me a little bit of money. Skip, if you want to say Rodgers is to blame, maybe the play that he threw to Tanyan, that Tanyan laid out for, give him 1%. But other than that, I can't put this at his foot. I mean, the guy was 27 of 41, 291, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Again, where is he at right now, Skip? 20 touchdowns, 2 picks, and they're 5-2. You want to put that one on Tampa? That's lay that at his feet. This one right here, Skip, I can't put this at his feet. So help me out here. This is the greatest thrower of the football in the history of the game, says the Hall of Famer Shannon Sharpe. And he's up against a 1-5 Vikings team with the 30th ranked defense in points allowed coming into the game. 30th ranked, that's 32 points a game. Right. Well, how did he put up only 22 points on a defense allowing 32? Well, you have to have the ball. You see what Dalvin Cook was doing? When the guy goes 30 for 163. Okay, well, timeout. Time of possession, home team Packers had the ball 32 minutes to 28 minutes for Kirk Cousins and Dalvin Cook. Skip, you watched that game. 32 to 28. Skip, you saw what was happening in that game. You saw. You have little to no respect for Kirk Cousins. How many times you think a guy is going to win a football game in which he has 11 completions, and the defense doesn't score a touchdown, the special teams doesn't score a touchdown, or the offense doesn't, and the opposing offense doesn't turn it over? How many times will that happen? Well, it will happen if your running back runs wild. In an 8-man box, Skip, you can't stop Dalvin Cook with an 8-man box. I thought Aaron Rodgers was transcendent. I thought he could lift his team to win over 1-5 division. I just saw your guy, Nick Foles, lose again to Drew Brees. He's not my guy. That's your guy, Nick Foles. You talk about, Nick Foles. He saved Carson Wentz. Without Nick, he can't, I mean, he lost again. It went to overtime. He lost again. It's pretty good. This is what I do know. This year in 2020, Nick Foles has more losses for the Bears than Mitchell Trubisky. Okay, so now we're talking about Nick Foles trying to change the subject from an Aaron Rodgers who lost at home yesterday, scoring 22 points against the 30th ranked defense. Really, is there really any such thing as home where there's really no fans? Oh, there's no fans. So now the excuse is there are no fans in Green Bay. And I know it was windy. I got it. You see how you try to miss my word? I didn't say there weren't fans in Green Bay. I'm saying there weren't fans at Lambeau. And then the miracle maker that is Aaron Rodgers, end of game, he throws Hail Mary miracles, and you got to know, you got to have that clock in your head. You got to know who's coming from behind you. Come on. Stop it. Is he starting to get a little old? Is he starting to get up there in that LeBron range? I just want to make sure I'm hearing you correctly. You're supposed to have a clock in your head to know somebody's coming, but not a clock in your head to know it's full. was down. Oh, so what about the clock?
Except when the clock said it's time to play at Tampa Bay, what happened to Aaron Rodgers? He folded up like one of those lawn chairs at a Tampa retirement home. Last three quarters, he scored 0 points.
Your guy
he
lost to Nick
folded.
Foles.
It sounded like he folded yesterday against Kirk Cousins and Dalvin Cook. Really?
Your guy lost to Nick Foles.
My guy's playing on Monday Night Football tonight to get to 6-2.
Think about this.
Thank you.
Every time the Packers had the ball, they either scored or they reached Minnesota's territory. But 5 offensive holding penalties stalled out drives. And we talked about, remember? Now, you remember now when your guy was going berserk in Chicago, yelling and MFing people on the sideline?
It worked.
All I'm saying.
It worked.
So in other words,
no turnovers, no penalties the last 2 games. That'll work.
Well,
way to go.
Well, the Packers need to. Well, maybe Aaron Rodgers need to put foots in somebody and jump in somebody's face.
He put foots in his management's face after the game because what did he do? He's asked about receivers. The last guy I wanted, they let go to Buffalo, right? Kumaro.
Yeah.
Oh, way to go, Aaron.
Oh, let me ask you a question.
Taking more shots.
I want to know that quarterback. How does he help the Packers defense right now? How does he help Aaron Rodgers win a game right now?
Who's that?
The quarterback, the one they traded up to get.
Oh, I
want to know, how does he help the Packers?
They took him because they want to replace Aaron Rodgers sooner than later.
Okay, you want to replace him sooner than later. So right now we're sooner. So how can he help us win sooner?
Because he's a diva and not a leader.
No, I get all that. I get Aaron Rodgers as a diva. I get all that. But I want to know, how did the draft pick help us currently?
It did not.
Okay.
And yet here comes Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I got something for y'all. Oh, Drew Brees got something for y'all Sunday night.
Yeah, I hope so.
Oh, Drew Brees got that for y'all.
We'll be there with bells on for that.
I do not feel bad for the Packers whatsoever. I know the Vikings have been struggling, but I don't care. We got the win yesterday. Next, guys, how do you explain Baker Mayfield's fall off after last week's thrilling win? We go there next.